Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Sayeed Ghani and I'm the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Computer Science presently. I started working in the US for a couple of years. I worked for a company called 9X, which was the research arm of the so-called baby bells at that time. And we did a lot of research and did standards activities and IEEE and so on. I worked for several companies before I joined IBA. And that's typical, as you know, typically people switch after 3 years in the IT industry, and I was following that track pretty much. So at present, when I initially joined, I was the chairman of the Center for Computer Studies, as we call it, which was a dual responsibility. I was not only responsible for the computer science department and the MIS department, but also responsible for all the technology at IBA. So it was, I had two hats, IT head hat as well as computer science department. And so I remember at that time we had a very poor infrastructure at IBA in 2001. We hardly had any networking and the number of PCs and so on was very small. So for the next 7-8 years, we went through a massive expansion program, and a lot of the technology that we see which have been further improved during the last 7-8 years during Dr. Rishad's time at IBA were started off at that time. And we put in a lot of the state-of-the-art infrastructure that we see today in its initial phases. And I think the major challenge at that time was that not only did we have to deal with the issues of infrastructure, the hardware, but also the more difficult thing, which actually is a challenge for computer science students today, is to actually implement the soft technology and to implement systems and to be able to make them successful. So one of the things that I often tell my students that in my years of experience as both in the industry and academia, one of the very important lessons that we must learn is that you must understand the domain where you're working. And if you are in a bank, for example, if you're a software developer in a bank, unless you understand the banking systems, unless you understand the model and you understand the mainstream business of that company, you can't be effective in providing a solution. And so this is the same thing that we discovered here at IBA, is that even though we had a good IT department, unless it was able to understand the issues from the faculty side and from the management side, they could build the best infrastructure. So this is so coming back to the issue as to what I've been doing at IBA. So this was our initial effort, is to modernize the infrastructure of IBA and so on. In the last 7-8 years, I've been primarily more responsible for on the academic side. We've separated the traditional sort of a vague boundary between IT deployment and IT services versus the IT academics. So now I'm primarily responsible for the academic side of things as Associate Dean. But my current responsibilities also go beyond the computer science department, in the sense that being chairman of the academic committee of the IBA, all the academic issues come through me and go through the academic board. In addition, we've been involved in implementing a system called the unit system, which is sort of bringing in research and teaching onto the same platform at IBA. It wouldn't be wrong to say that IBA today is at the forefront of implementing technology in academia. Just like perhaps Citibank at one point was the leader in technology in the financial world. So we've been able to put in really cutting edge and bleeding edge technology at IBA over this last 7-8 years, and we've spent exorbitantly. We've set up a tier 3 data center at the IBA. We have put in systems with a complete ERP, which has integrated all the different aspects, both the academics as well as, for example, the financials, as well as the HR component. So all of these have been put together into a single consolidated ERP system. We at IBA have really focused on entrepreneurship. As you might be aware, we have a Center for Entrepreneurship Development, and a number of our students are actually taking advantage of that. We have a number of students who, while they are at IBA, are starting their own companies. In fact, last year, six teams of our students, while they were going through the BS Computer Science program, had started their own companies, and they were doing extremely well. They were doing international business and mobile apps or e-commerce and other areas as well. So we work fairly closely with the IT industry. We have what is called a CEO forum, Chief Executives Forum, which is organized once every year. And in that, the objective is that we call in the top executives from the IT industry to come in for a couple of hours of brainstorming session at the IBA. Dr. Ishrat Hussain also takes part in that, and it is a wonderful event. We have all kinds of debates over there. We have the basic idea is that we want our curriculum to be molded according to what the local IT industry needs. Okay, and the IT industry gives us all kinds of suggestions. So our main event on an annual basis, on a biannual basis, is the International Conference on ICT, in which we get faculty coming in from all over the world, from typically 15 to 20 countries, from all over, from Europe, from America, from the Far East, and so on. And this is an activity where academics get together and talk about future technology and their ideas and research developments. But in addition, from the student point of view, we have an annual activity which is called Pro Battle, where the students, there's a student-led event, and basically they have a whole series of activities in which students from local universities also take part, for example, from NED, from FAST, from Bahria, and so on. And also students from outside Karachi come in and participate in that activity as well. We need to look at our curriculum, of course, very closely. We need to look at the kinds of skills our students need to be trained upon to be able to compete in the future. And as a result of all of this, the kinds of skills that will be required will be changing, and also the kinds of things which are going to become obsolete, will be changing. So we have to be ready for that. IDG has a very important role. Just the fact that you are getting together the people in the IT industry and bringing to the average public and to the students who want to come into this particular area a closer look at the IT industry. I think that's very positive, and I think that there is a lot that IDG and the role of PASHA and PSEB can do to be able to get ICT to fully take advantage of for the IT industry to take full advantage of ICT in Pakistan. So I think inshallah, I wish you the best.